moving into the art of entertaining, and I am here at a wine shop called Crushed in Mount Pleasant. It's just tucked back off of the road by a little bit. I'm with owner
Desmond Garrity.
Desmond Garrity.
We've been here for almost 5 years. We opened the business in March of 2008. This place is called Shoppe Village.
It's lovely back here once you find it.
Exactly. There's a Cooper River Bridge Run, have their offices down at the end of my block here, and there's a lot of nice little businesses in here.
Now, how did you come to actually be owning a wine shop here?
Well, we moved here, my wife and I, in 1992, and I got my wine knowledge from being in the restaurant business.
Nice.
We were partners in a restaurant in Norwalk, Connecticut, and then we moved down here, and I actually opened slightly north of Broad, one of the more venued restaurants on East Bay Street.
That's what we talk about, Charleston being so very small. There's a lot of crossover.
We started out there, and as the restaurant developed, I took over their wine program, both putting the wine list together and training the staff, and of course talking to all the customers about what selections would be good for them. So taking that and then working at Charleston Grow for 4 years, I took all that knowledge and put it into a boutique wine shop. So it is boutique, but I'd like to also preface that it's not expensive.
Well, exactly, and knowing now your roots, which is somebody who it's not like you came up in a vineyard family or something like that, like you just knew how to discern, you have a palate for it, and it's something you're interested in.
I was very fortunate that God blessed me with the ability to sort of remember what I tasted and the flavors and the differences of maybe 4 or 5 different Cabernets. If you were to line them up, I'd be able to differentiate them, and then
which is just a talent and a passion, which is nice that you got both.
Exactly. And one of the things we do is we try to find smaller importing companies, smaller producers from California and Oregon, smaller family-run businesses from both Italy and from France.
And that's what we had wondered too. You know, how you decide not to go to a Total Wine or the grocery store, or all of these sort of places, which I think are just maybe based on convenience. But once you're there, it's no longer convenient.
It is convenience, and a lot of the wines in grocery stores are perfectly fine wines, but they are produced on a much larger scale. And one of the main things that I do here is I do sort of the homework for you. Every time I'm looking or seeking out a wine and wanted to basically get its value, is I never ever taste a wine knowing what the price is.
That's fantastic to hear. I remember talking about that earlier.
When wines surprise me, when they really deliver for the money, when I finally find out the price, and if it's a lot more or a lot less than what I thought it would be, those are the type of wines that end up here at Crushed Fine Wine.
And I think that is a preconceived notion when it comes to small wine shops, is that you're either going to be upsold into something, or someone who knows that much more than you do is going to somehow negotiate you to a top of the...
Unfortunately, that is obviously not the way it is here, but there is that preconceived idea in a lot of people's minds, which is something that we really fight for here to
let you know that it's comfortable. And I would like to point out enough that the people that have been in and out of the shop all day, it is comfortable.
We really listen to everyone that comes in, find out exactly what they purchasing the wine for. Is it for a present? Is it for a dinner party? Is it for a meal? And that's where I like to use my knowledge and help people pair food and wine together and sort of get an idea of exactly what they're buying the wine for. Another thing that we do here that is sort of unique is that we try to keep records on everything that you buy, so that when you come back, you can tell me, Des, I really like this Chardonnay for this reason, or I like this Cabernet for that reason. And by doing that, then I can
curtail what they like.
Yeah, curtail and grow. Essentially, when I know what their flavor profiles are, what they're like in a wine, then when I discover new things that are meeting what they
you can tell them.
I can tell them. So
illuminate
that
for
way,
them stuff. Yeah, you are a nice
small shop like this, it constantly is fresh, constantly keeps things new and innovative and different, because
and it is what we had talked about too, like whether you know and you trust your hairdresser, mechanic, everybody that is, that people call often enough to tell you who they are and what they're having, and if you could just put a box together for them so they can pick it up, like it's
exactly what
things
people
that you
do
can't do in big shops, like that matters.
It really does, and people do that a lot.
You also helped me and anybody in, I think, a quick tutorial in those things for people who are really just starting off, how to pair in a very basic way, and how to know what goes with what, and or how to to read a menu with some savvy.
It is. It's pretty easy to do when you've been doing it as long as I have, and that's and I just like to pass that kind of knowledge on to my customers.
Well, I once again wanted to tell you how beautiful and how welcoming and how much we've enjoyed being out here, and thanks very much for having us.
Thanks so much for coming and finding Crushed Fine Wine and basically getting an idea of what we're all about.
Found it, and I intend to tell everyone I know.
Thanks, Mariah.
Thanks
Appreciate
again,
it.
Des.
Thanks a lot.